Alright guys, so this is the motherboard that I'm going with. It's an MSI Bang-XPower 2. As you can see, it has 3 years manufacturer warranty. And it's an XL-ATX motherboard, so it'll fit in pretty much perfectly with the Cooler Master Comsos 2 and the other stuff that I'm going with. So just a quick mention, I got clock bias 2, supercharger U3S6, instant OC, USB safeguard, and MSI active phase switching, or APS. I also got the Sound Black's XFI sound card, OC Genie 2, super pipe. These features, most of them I don't even know. Like supercharger, it's just when your computer is offline, through a USB port you can charge your iPhone or tablets or whatever other thing you might have. Now give me a second and I'll take it out of the box. So guys, there's the motherboard. We'll go over that in a minute. For now, came with this big poster sort of thing that gives you all the details about the motherboard, everything you need to know, as well as a quick guide, quick setup guide sort of thing. Probably won't need that. I've already researched this board thoroughly. There's an MSI overclocking guide. Won't need that either. There's your driver's DVD. Pretty useless unless you want to install the network drivers, which you might need if you're doing a clean installation of Windows. There's a quick installation guide, and here is the quick connect for the front panels and front panel connectors and such. This is a it's pretty thoughtful of them to include it. Give me a second, I'll take it out of the packing. So this was in it, basically a PCI slot, USB 3 ports times 2. It connects your internal USB 3 header on the motherboard, which I'll show you after I unbox that. It's a pretty good thing to have. Like I said, if I didn't say that, if your case doesn't support front panel USB 3, you can use that. We also got a quick installation guide. Ooh, a certificate of quality and stability. I don't doubt that. I mean, older MSI motherboards had some problems. I'm talking about the 775 era, but they've picked up their game since then. What do we have here? So, 2 external SATA ports and 1 4-pin Molex. Pretty good. Another PCI Express extension. You've got, I'm not sure if you guys can see it, 1 Molex to 2 SATA connectors. Oh, and what this little white cable is basically mSATA, or external SATA to, sorry, not mSATA, external SATA to normal SATA. So this plugs at the back of your motherboard. And here we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 times 2 SATA cables. Apparently 4 of them are angled and 4 of them are not, and they are straight. The thing about the SATA connectors is that it makes no difference which revision you use, as long as far as the cables are concerned. I mean, I've read the benchmarks, and it makes no difference whatsoever which generation cable you use. It's just, you know, when they say SATA 3 cable, it has features like the locking mechanism, so the cables won't dislodge or something. That's the only difference. You also got the mainboard manual and rear I/O shield. Also comes with the this is strange. I was expecting a SLI bridge, but well, you got the 2 of those shorter ones are SLI bridges, and the other one is an Crossfire bridge. The other one is a longer SLI bridge. They're all matte black and they're all flexible. I'm kind of disappointed. I wanted the I mean, I know you can do 4-way or 3-way SLI with those ribbons, but a solid bridge, I would have actually preferred that. But yeah, well, I'm going to remove the motherboard from the tray and show you guys the motherboard, I guess. Be back in a second. Alright guys, so here's the motherboard. And let me just take off these stickers. Military Class 3. And it claims to be the first PCI Express Gen 3. Well, I mean, MSI claims to be the first manufacturer to implement that in their motherboards. I don't know about that, nor do I care. Now, as you can see, I mean, it says it has military class components, and never mind that, just look at the heat sinks. Shape of a Gatling gun there, right there. Pretty neat. And 6 bullets. I don't think these are copper, I think they're brass, but anyway, they're more likely for the looks. You see the massive LJ2011 socket. You got 8 DIMMs, I mean the capability to install 8 DIMMs for up to 64 gigs of memory. 2 EPS 8-pin supplementary power. I believe you only need one of them to operate it. The other one is supposed to go in if you're doing crazy overclock and sub-zero conditions. You got 7 PCI Express slots. These 2 are wired for 16x. The rest of them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the rest 5 of them are only wired for 8x. And if you remember some manufacturers have started notably Asus. They've come up, they've started making a 3-slot graphics card. So in case of like 2 DCU Asus DCU units, that would cover the first 3 PCI slots. The next one would be free for the top fan to get airflow, and if you ever decided to go SLI, the second card would go here, and both cards would have adequate airflow. And that was the problem with other motherboards. Well, it's not really their fault with the motherboard manufacturer, but the cards are just so big that you need an additional PCI slots between them just to get decent airflow, or else you might have heating problems. Now, just to confirm that, so you can see these 2 are wired for 16x, the rest are 8x. One more thing I should mention before I flip this over. See the heatsink on top for the VRMs? That's a pretty neat idea. Connects to the main MOSFET heatsink up top in the shade of a Gatling gun. Alright, so I count, well, there's 1 there, another there, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 4-pin fan connectors. They're compatible with 3-pin fan connectors, but, well, you know, a 4-pin always have the PWM control, which you can tailor to your, you know, whatever need you might have, speed or quietness. You got the X-Fi 8-channel audio controller, and you got the debug LED. Oh, and the onboard power button, if you guys can see it there. You got OC Genie, multi-BIOS, which I believe is switches between the BIOSes. Direct OC changes the voltages or clocks. I'm not 100% on that. And reset button. You also got something, it's pretty, they call it the PCIe ceasefire. I find it pretty amazing. What it does is basically just kills the PCI lanes. It only has for 4 of them, not all 7, but I'm guessing if you're doing quad SLI or crossfire, you only need 4, so those would be the number 1, 3, 5, and 7 slots. So you can turn them off. If you have a problem, you want to troubleshoot, you can turn them physically off and be on your way. There is a firewire port, 1394. You get 2 USB 2 front header connectors. One of them, the red one, is powered, so you can charge your tablets or smartphones or whatnot. Supercharger. That's nice. Yeah, you also got a little switch. There you go. The multi-bias switch. That obviously changes between the biases, and if one of them goes wrong, something happens to it. Right, and to the side you get the usual 24 pin. These, remember the single pin connectors I showed you guys earlier? These are the voltage reading stations or points that you plug them into, and you can read the voltage directly from them. Pretty neat thing for the extreme overclockers. You've got 10 SATA ports. These 6 are running from the Intel chipset. These 2 are SATA 3, 6 gigabit per second. These 4 are SATA 2, 3 gigabit per second. These 2 also, I believe, run from 2 different, 2 of the same third-party chipset. Run at 6 gigabit per second SATA 3. Your USB 3 internal header at the 90-degree angle. I kind of like that. It makes it easier to install and manage the wires. You also got a 6-pin PCI Express connector. I believe those are the supplementary power for the board, and especially for the PCI Express slots. Now I think I've covered just about everything here. Look at the back of the board, the I/O shield. You've got 4 USB 3 ports. Top of those ports, 2 LAN ports. You got 6 USB 2 ports, Firewire port, optical audio, keyboard and mouse, PS2 keyboard and mouse, unified port, and you got your 8-channel audio. Okay guys, I believe that's pretty much everything that I should mention about the board, or some things here and there, but that's about the gist of it. So yeah, I'll see what I can unbox and review after this.